is that she was left alone, right? And she developed bed sores. And the bed sores are the worst thing that can happen to anybody, period. Because here, Mom spent the last 5 years of her life crying in pain, my bottom. She had these huge, like with all the nerves and that pain that she was in I still can't, I can't really handle that very well. You know, I have a lot of personal trauma over the pain and suffering that my mom went through.
Of course he can't handle it because he knows, exposed, it's from the one and only God Almighty.
All right, I can't even imagine having to go through that. And the way that this feels is, I mean, honestly, she comes through so at peace. And they always
I imagine that's the nature of the soul.
So this is a reverse tease king, and this guy has Jesus has got crosses tattooed on his arms. Anyway, Tyler doesn't know what's going on, but I'm sure he says it's all about the light because years ago when he was lying to people and just making shit up about I forgot what it was, but it was all lies. And so the light had me tell him that if he doesn't, well, he was supposed to communicate to us and tell us or write down to everybody. But now I know for sure that once you're God Almighty lover, you can't do that because you can't be that blunt. But I'm sure behind the scenes he's amped up and teases the fuck out of everybody and says, look, I have no idea, but it's all from the light, the one that's going into Peter and doing all the humanly impossible stuff and moving cells and tissue in real time. So when he says he feels at peace, he's feeling the lights at peace because when people have a near-death experience and go into the tunnel of light, that tunnel of light, that's God, and they say they feel the most peace. Like when the light does healings through me, the people all say the same thing. They feel a calmness and a peace that you never felt in your life. So they're not, he doesn't feel, he's not connecting with he's connecting with God. And he's not connecting. God connects with him to tease all the motherfuckers down there. In other words, how many people who pretend Jesus is God has he read for? And then he does the readings and the light comes through, the people don't come through, and the light is teasing everybody that the light could do anything and does all this humanly impossible calm communication. There's no one as calm as the light. And so his mother's fucking miserable up there. She didn't pass her lifetime test. 5 years of pain. Imagine the scum that she was. And he mentioned nerves a little, but he jumped over it like just as a throwaway because that's what the light does. That creates tumors all over the back. And obviously she was so stubborn and didn't give in because they're insane. That's why the light uses the word diabolical on the God Almighty haters, because they're willing to put up unbearable pain and still pretend than just tell the truth about the light. And then the light would have turned it off. She would have been healed in seconds. Well, not in seconds, but would have been healed. But she would have had to start watching everything and taking a giant interest in the light and all that. So anyway, Tyler, now you're getting a more understanding.
Look, Dr. Hill and I are geeking out over this data, but the reality is you shared a very important experience, and that is outside of all of this, right?
There's no data. There's no special brain thing. That he doesn't have any special brain that anyone else doesn't have. It's God love acting with him, and it's that simple. There's no. People always try to look into things deeper than things. It's very simple. But it's so surreal, no brain could comprehend it. But in other words, you expect God to be able to do this. So it's not even surreal. What's surreal is people like him pretending a man named Jesus cartoon that has zero scientific evidence and is the most immoral of the 4,000 plus cartoon godfathers. In other words, what's more demonic in the history of the world than turning a man named Jesus into God? And if you don't accept that man, God, fraud, supposed to be all love, is God, he burns you alive, screaming your head off forever ever in a place called hell, pray tell, with his partners, demons, devils, and Satans. I mean, what's more hilarious than that? And he has like Jesus is God crosses. Is that it? So if he really was about the light, would he have this on his arm, or would he got rid of it? So anyways, he's fucking nuts. So that's all it is. It's, it's not surreal, in my opinion, because we expect God to be able to do all this stuff that God, the light is doing through Tyler. And obviously, if God loved all his children and child sin the same from whence they came, everyone would have at least Tyler's lifetime game or his lifetime game. The guy who did Jackass doing those stupid movies. I never watched one of them, but I guess they were funny. Someone just doing anything to get a laugh and make money, but getting, hurt from it. Anyway, you reap what you sow. Ask Tyler, he'll explain it to you.
Strikes me as super valid. And then to see you guys sort of show evidence of how it's valid on a scientific level.
Right. Here's what I've always known about psychics that I've observed, that they're doing something, and no one has quite explained yet what that something is. And this is the beginning of that.
Well, we just explained what it is, and we've been explaining it for, well, not me. The light says it through me. For 19 years, but I guess you weren't listening and glistening, or you're push king my buttons, and you're gonna tell the truth when the Black Bolus is over for Rover, Pover, and Dover. Here's the killer in this more than any thriller.
Beginning of that explanation.
Thank you. Wow, that's a lot to process.
Hello, how are you? Moving cells in real time. But we expect the one and only divine, the one only supplying, the one only human with possible shine to do this. So what we don't expect, which is beyond surreal, that no human brain could comprehend, is that there would be one single human being down here that hates God's motherfucking guts for coming here with blatant scientific evidence. And all morals nobody could quarrel with. And so a person who cognitively tries to lie about God and tries to disgrace God, that's what's surreal. Not God down here with blatant scientific evidence, visual evidence, God putting unbearable pain in people, creating real-time tumors. And by the way, so the people who the light puts the unbearable pain in and suffering in, some of them for years, like that guy Peterson and his wife and his daughter. But then the light turns it off, and then they go, oh, Jesus healed me, Allah, Muhammad healed me, Buddha healed me. No, the light turned it off, and then they get to think about it. And then if they don't give in and tell the truth, then the next time is going to be harder and harder and harder. And then if they don't give in again, then the next time will be harder. You know how GT do it.